Otto Skorzeny. Otto Skorzeny was one of Nazi Germany's most famous special operations officers during World War II. He became known for risky missions, especially the rescue of Italian dictator Benito Mussolini in 1943. His success earned him a reputation as a skilled commander, but it also made him one of the most recognizable figures in the Nazi military. After Germany's defeat, Skorzeny was captured and investigated for war crimes. Although he avoided a death sentence, he remained connected to former Nazi networks and spent years living outside Germany. He died of lung cancer in Madrid, Spain, in 1975, at the age of 67. Unlike many other Nazi figures, he escaped execution and lived for decades after the war. Vidkun Quisling. Vidkun Quisling was the Norwegian politician whose name became a global symbol of betrayal. Before the war, he had been a government official and military officer, but after Nazi Germany invaded Norway in 1940, he cooperated with the occupiers and became the leader of a German-controlled puppet government. His actions made him one of the most hated figures in Norwegian history. After Germany surrendered in 1945, Quisling was arrested and charged with treason and crimes committed during the occupation. He was found guilty and sentenced to death. On October 24, 1945, he was executed by firing squad at Akershus Fortress in Oslo. His name later became a common term for someone who betrays their own country. Pierre Laval. Pierre Laval was one of the main political figures behind France's collaboration with Nazi Germany during World War II. He became a leading figure in the Vichy government and supported policies that helped Germany control occupied France. Laval assisted in sending French workers to Germany and supported the persecution and deportation of Jewish people. After the war ended, he fled but was eventually captured and returned to France for trial. He was convicted of treason and sentenced to death. On October 15, 1945, Laval was executed by firing squad after a failed attempt to take his own life before the execution. His death represented the punishment given to one of the most important collaborators in occupied France, Ante Pavelić. Ante Pavelić was the leader of the independent state of Croatia, a Nazi-backed state created during World War II. As the head of the Ustaše movement, he controlled a regime responsible for mass killings, persecution, and brutal treatment of minorities. After the war, Pavelić escaped Europe and eventually settled in Argentina, avoiding a major trial for his actions. In 1957, he survived an assassination attempt that left him seriously injured. He later moved to Spain, where he spent his final years in poor health. Pavelić died in Madrid in 1959 from complications related to his injuries. He was one of the few major wartime collaborators who died without ever facing a court for his crimes. Ion Antonescu. Ion Antonescu was the military leader of Romania during World War II and a close ally of Nazi Germany. Under his rule, Romania joined Germany's invasion of the Soviet Union and carried out policies that resulted in the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people, including Jewish communities. In 1944, as the war turned against Germany, Antonescu was removed from power and arrested. After the war, he was tried for war crimes and crimes against humanity. The court found him guilty and sentenced him to death. On June 1, 1946, Antonescu was executed by firing squad near Bucharest. His death became one of the most significant punishments against an Axis leader after World War II, Joseph Tiso. Joseph Tiso was a Slovak politician and Catholic priest who led the Slovak Republic during World War II. His government was closely connected to Nazi Germany and supported anti-Jewish laws and deportations. Under his leadership, thousands of Slovak Jews were sent to Nazi concentration camps. After the war, Tiso was captured and returned to Czechoslovakia, where he was charged with treason and collaboration. He was convicted and sentenced to death. On April 18, 1947, Tiso was executed by hanging in Bratislava. His role during the war remains one of the most debated parts of Slovak history. Benito Mussolini. Benito Mussolini was the founder of Italian fascism and the dictator who ruled Italy for more than 20 years. He became Adolf Hitler's closest European ally and led Italy into World War II on the side of Nazi Germany. As the war continued and Italy suffered major defeats, Mussolini lost power in 1943, but was later rescued by German forces and placed in charge of a puppet state in northern Italy. In April 1945, as Allied troops approached, Mussolini attempted to escape toward Switzerland with Clara Petacci. They were captured by Italian resistance fighters and executed on April 28, 1945. Their bodies were taken to Milan and publicly displayed, marking the end of Mussolini's rule and the collapse of Italian fascism. Hermann Göring. Hermann Göring was one of the highest-ranking leaders in Nazi Germany and one of Adolf Hitler's closest followers. He controlled the German Air Force, helped build the Nazi police system, and played a major role in the government's wartime policies. After Germany's defeat, Göring was captured and became the most senior Nazi official, tried at the Nuremberg trials. He was found guilty of war crimes and crimes against humanity and sentenced to death. However, shortly before his execution in 1946, Göring used a hidden cyanide capsule to take his own life inside his prison cell. His suicide ended the life of one of the most powerful figures of Nazi Germany before justice could be carried out.